Alright guys, today we've got some great news about a game that a lot of us have been waiting an extremely long time for. A game that was revealed back in 2016, meaning at this point, it's been 8 years of development time. It is Lost Soul Aside. In fact, for the past 8 years, this has actually been one of my most highly anticipated games, and the fact that we are seemingly getting very close to the release of this is super exciting. Especially just the development journey that Yang Bing, the director of this project, has been on is nothing but inspiring. This project originally started as a passion project by this individual, inspired through the likes of Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy 15. It was being developed by just Yang Bing alone. When the first footage of this game was uploaded by Yang Bing back in 2016, it kind of went a little bit viral, and PlayStation caught onto this, picked him up for the China Hero project, and at this point, he now has a fully fledged studio with staff under the name of Ulti0 Games. Every couple of years or so, we've been getting updates on Lost Soul Aside with footage drops. The last footage drop that we got was a pretty big showcase, showing off a ton of gameplay and cutscenes, with the game looking infinitely more polished than it did when it first got revealed back in 2016. Obviously, with the support of Sony PlayStation behind this project, it has bolstered Yang Bing's original vision to an unprecedented level. PlayStation have basically given this director the power to give his penultimate version of the original version of Lost Soul Aside that he had back in 2016. This game looks incredible. It is like a blend of sort of Devil May Cry action combat, so it is an action-orientated game mixed in with the inspiration from the likes of Final Fantasy 15. Yang Bing back in 2016 explicitly mentioned that he was heavily inspired by the themes of FF15, and you can see that here. Now, last year, there were some Chinese gaming journalists that were reporting on Lost Soul Aside and had mentioned that a 2024 release is currently set for the game. According to what they had said, this is something that they had heard, although this had not been officially confirmed by Ulti0. So at this point, we don't actually know if Lost Soul Aside is set to come out this year. Again, this game has been in development for a long time. However, with the recent update, it would seem that we're going to be learning a lot more about this game very soon, and potentially the team might be preparing for the launch, maybe in 2024. So earlier this month, the China Hero project mentioned that more information about Lost Soul Aside will be coming soon. Most importantly though, the Lost Soul Aside Twitter account had mentioned that they'd recently got license for approval to release in China. Daniel Ahmed, who is an analyst for the Asian gaming market, had mentioned that this pretty much means that news for the launch of the game will be happening sometime soon, generally speaking within the next 3 months or so. Considering that we are fast approaching June, which is the typical time of the year where the gaming industry steps forward to announce what it has in store for the next stretch of the pipeline for this current year and years beyond, it wouldn't surprise me that if there is going to be a big PlayStation showcase come either May or June, this will be one of their major unveilings. Keep in mind that PlayStation not too long ago had mentioned that there will not be any major first-party releases from them up until early 2025. It would seem that PlayStation are more so leaning on their partners for 2024 major releases, like, for example, Square Enix with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and the recent Stellar Blade with Shift Up. This is a major China Hero project, which is an initiative by PlayStation to bolster Chinese game developers and give them a platform to release their games on. Part of this deal, though, is that these games will launch exclusively on PlayStation and eventually PC. So it does make me think that looking towards the second half of 2024, Lost Soul Aside could very well be another major PlayStation release that is coming from one of their partners and not so much their first-party studios. This would make sense to cover the holiday season. From the most recent footage that we've seen of the game, it is looking very polished. It looks like it's in a state where it's not actually too far away from release, though of course there has been some time since the last major footage drop, clearly Ulti0 are wanting to spend as much time on this as possible to make it something special. And it's great to see that PlayStation are incredibly patient when it comes to Lost Solarcide, because yeah, it has been a hot minute. I also want to say that I know a lot of people were expecting Stellar Blade to be more along the lines of a Devil May Cry Bayonetta type of game, which Lost Solarcide is 100%. You can tell just from the gameplay footage that we've seen. If you are looking for another Devil May Cry type, and that Stellar Blade was not really your cup of tea because it sort of leaned more towards the Souls-like type combat, be sure to pay very close attention to Lost Solarcide. I would say it's not too long now before we get a major deep dive into the game. However guys, just wanted to provide a small update towards this. If you do want a bit of a deep dive towards more on Lost Solarcide, I did a pretty big video not too long ago explaining the different systems, stuff to do with like the story, so I will leave the link to that in the description down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything that's going on here. Check out my other social medias like my Twitter and my Instagram. Thank you so kindly to the amazing patrons. I'm Cynical, hopefully having a fantastic day, and we'll talk real soon.